Hey guys, this is Jordan Thomas with Spearfish Martial Arts. I'm coming to you today just to give you some solo jiu-jitsu drills. This is both for kids and adults. Things that you can do at home or that you can do once the gym opens again, that you can do on the mat and training out. This is a good way to get warmed up, really get your body movement down and just understand the fundamental body movements behind jiu-jitsu. So first one, we're just going to lay back like this on our back. We're going to rotate our feet both inward, just like this. Really loosening up our knees. See it from the side. I call them egg beaters. Come to the inside like this. Then we can switch, we can go to the outside. This opens up our hips and our knees. Next drill, I just put my hands down, I roll back, I practice framing my toes. And I come up to what's called a combat base. My toe comes up, hand goes down, I roll back, I switch, other knee comes up, other foot comes down, elbow comes up. I can actually come all the way up, put my pressure on my backhand, roll back, touch. Come back forward, hand, touch, hand, touch. Combat. You can see when I'm actually doing my frame, I want to get my spine flexible enough to go all the way back, be able to touch with my toes and protect myself on this way, okay? Next one we're going to do, nice and easy and basic, forward roll and backwards roll in one spot. So what I'm going to do is either start on my knees or start with one foot up, okay? If I start with one foot up, I'm going to take the opposite hand, tuck it through, frame with this hand, make sure my shoulder hits the mat first. Roll from my shoulder, up here, put my hands down, toss my feet over one of my shoulders, all the way back up to here. And just continue. Then I'll do the other side. Pop this foot up, frame, hand, shoulder to hip, up to combat, hands down, toss over the other shoulder, come up. You can also do this from both knees. Up, back. I try to make sure every time I come up to my active toes. Next drill that's similar to this one we can warm up with is what's called the compass drill. Compass drill looks a lot similar. When I start, I tuck my arm, I go to my shoulder, I roll my head, I come across, and I go to the side. I might be out of the frame on that one. I'm actually going to look like this. And across, and across. Basically going north to south or east to west, just crossing straight across one shoulder to the next shoulder. Okay? Next one we're going to do, we're going to come to our hands, come all the way up. We're just going to first start getting warmed up by crawling forward, crawling backwards, getting our shoulders warmed up, getting our knees moving, making sure we're on our active toes. From here we'll practice our sit-out drill. Sit-out drill, I pinch my elbow in, I sit my foot out, don't touch my butt, come back down, other side, other side, other side. As you start to do this, we'll look up, twist and look. If you want to add the realism to it of actually doing the sit-out and turning and facing, I'll go here, sit, step my foot, turn and face, step my foot, turn and face. You can almost look look like you're wrestling sit up. Very common to that as well. Next drill we're actually going to do is kind of go back to rolls, practice our inverted roll. Inverted roll starts like this. Tuck my arm behind. I think of trying to pull my shoulder in. I want to collapse myself, fold myself, pull my feet in, come up to my shoulder blades, balance myself. If I can't balance, hold myself for now. Reach out, grab the mat with your toes, come up, and go back. Hand, balance. Once I get that down, I can actually reach out in front. Start to have my hands out in front. And ideally, my goal should be able to actually even keep my feet on. Being able to protect yourself inverted with your feet on the floor is super crucial to protecting your spine and your neck. Next one, most of you know, will be our shrimp. We're just going to practice shrimping in place right now. So my hands come in, feet come to my butt, lift my hips up, turn to one side, pivot on my shoulder. As I push, the only thing that should really move is my waist and my hips. I'm escaping my hips. I'm actually going to pull myself right back in. I'm practicing it just in one spot right now. So hips up, turn, push, back. Hips up, hips up. If I want to practice actually escaping from here, I will lay my hips down, then pull my feet up continuously. Pull my feet up, right? If I'm limited in space, I just escape, pull myself right back in. Okay. Next one that's good. Some people call it a butt scoot. Some people call it kind of a forward shrimp. Okay. I just like to think I'm in my combat base just like this. I post my hand. I act like I'm grabbing the lapel. I scoop myself in underneath. Okay. A lot of times I'll scoop myself in with this top foot. Sometimes I'll pull with this bottom foot. And I'll rock underneath, come back up, rock underneath, come back up, so on, okay? Then you can do the exact same thing. Practice pushing out. If you were here when Professor Jeremy taught, I actually practiced pushing out at an angle. So I'll be here, escape, 2 times, switch to the other side, practice pushing twice, one side, other side. Then I can practice forward. As I practice forward, I rock back and I come up to the other combat base. So I'm here, scoop, combat base, scoop, combat base, all the way up, okay? And then backwards. Switch, I'm going in a zigzag pattern, not going straight back. Okay guys, and we still have triangle ups as well. This is a great ab workout, a way to practice launching your hips up and really making the capture. So the way I'll do this one is I'll put my hands on the floor and practice shooting my feet up and stopping my hips in the air and locking my triangle and then unlock on the way down, locking, down. Just continue to do both sides. Shooting my hips up, trying to lock my hips out straight and get that hinge right behind on my shin. So up and back down. We also have what we call in our kids class as a cobra walk. It's just practicing your shot from a wrestler standpoint. A lot of times if we stand up like this, we'll take our first initial step, penetration step, come down to our knee, and then we'll stay down. I'll come up to my next foot and I'll drive through, and then I'll come up to my next foot. If I switch and go back this way, I'm driving through, practicing pulling in my opponent, stepping through. Pulling in and stepping. I just switch from side to side. Just keep doing that. And then we have one more that I like. This one's called S turns. I come up and I switch and I kind of get a glute stretch. Kind of loosens up my hips still on this way, and I'll lean forward and I'll switch my hips and come up again. I just switch side to side. You can practice coming all the way up. Or leaning all the way forward. And to wrap it all up, if you wanted to, when we first started talking about that combat base, when I just rock back, touch, come back up, you can also practice your tactical stand-up. That's where I go from combat base. My hand is out. I have this hand in the back posted. I lift my hips off the ground. I make sure this bottom foot transfers behind me. I stand all the way up, come back down, break my fall, switch, go to my other combat base. I picture this hand is keeping distance away from my opponent. This hand is my base, lift my leg off, leg in the back, make sure this arm is out and shoulders next to my chin. Get my stand up, come back down. Just keep practicing your tactical stand-up. That should get you guys started.